clean to shoulder press. I'm going to do that for 4 each side. At the park today, planning on, well, I don't know, low intensity is relative, but today, like, my upper traps and shoulders and stuff are really sore, so are my legs. And instead of going doing super difficult movements, I just want to do some things that will direct blood flow into the sore areas and not necessarily overly tax my body. In any case, starting off with 10 steel mace 360s on each side. My first set of these today were like super stiff. But after I got a few reps in, I got blood moving, then things were fine. And then doing ballistic rows for 10 each side. With the 25-pound kettlebell, this is a relatively easy movement that gets the back involved in a flowy way, which helps me get blood going into the back. And also the 10 reps with that isn't heavy or isn't that many reps to where I feel exhausted after one set. I don't know, it feels like there's there is. Eee, what is that? Weird. There was some weird insect on my back. Oh well. Yeah, just gonna record one more set. Using my 15-pound steel mace. I don't know if you guys know who the Flowing Dutchman is, but he's this Dutch guy who swings maces a lot and travels to India quite a bit. And he's in India right now at some festival where they do competitive swinging with the mace. So I don't know, I've been following along a little, and he swung I think 45 to 50 kg mace today, and yeah, that's quite impressive, because I use the 25 pound, which is 12 kg right now, and I can do good reps with it, but to imagine doing the forearm strength and stuff required to handle a 50-pound mace is, Gotta be quite staggering. Yeah, feeling pretty good through these movements right now. I don't know, if the endorphins start kicking in and I feel less sore, I might just do a fairly intense workout. But at least right now, like, I'm gonna do some of the same exercises that I usually do, but probably not push the rep range or stuff like that. But yeah, I'm gonna do this for a bit and then on to the next thing. So for the next set of things, doing a steel mace 360 to front swing. So it looks like this. Swing, or 360 front swing, 360 front swing. Switching sides. The act of swinging the mace in front of me and bringing it up requires like your forearms to get activated, and I think it's actually I wouldn't say surprising or whatever, but it is quite taxing on the forearms, and I really feel like a pump in my forearms after doing that movement. And then with the kettlebell, doing a lateral tactical clean to shoulder press. I'm going to do that for each side. It is quite like it's not just like a low intensity movement, but by not doing, like, I'm stopping at 4 reps each side, I'm able to keep the volume pretty mellow, so I don't feel overly taxed after it. So yeah, I'm able to get blood into some of the muscles that are sore. And yeah, I'm gonna do this for 5 sets and then on to something else. So for the next complex, starting off with alternate 10 to 2 single arm steel mace 360s. So that move is this. Then doing 360s to drop squat. Going for 4. I noticed that I was hesitating to go deep on my squats, and so I forced myself to go deeper. In any case, then with the kettlebell, doing a clean, a snatch, and then a flip to switch hands and going back into it. I'm going to do that for 3 on each side. So yeah, like after that set, like I feel more cardiovascularly taxed than muscularly taxed. Yeah. So by keeping the rep range fairly moderate, like my muscles don't feel too tired. And actually, now that blood's in the muscles, I don't feel the soreness that much anymore. Yesterday was also a pretty active day for me, and I didn't eat as many calories as I usually do in a day, like way less probably. Actually, not probably, I did have way less, but I did have a lot more carbs today, kind of to, like I need to give my body the appropriate resources to deal with like all the extra activity that I've been giving it over the past week. So yeah, not good to undernourish either. I'm flipping the kettlebell to switch sides. You can just do an alternate swing if you don't want to flip it. So a swing flip would look like this, or a swing switch. But I'm going to flip it from here on out. Yeah, gonna do this. So that was my third set. Gonna do another 2 and then on to the next thing. So for the next complex, starting with the kettlebell, going to do tactical clean to tactical snatch. So it looks like this. Tactical cleans, tactical snatch, and repeat that sequence for 3 times on each side. Then with the steel mace, doing single arm 360s to curl to press, and repeat for 5 on each side. The press in this case is just like a throw to help get that momentum to go into a 360 again. So yeah, gonna do this complex for 5 sets. This was my second. I told I had more carbs today. So what I ended up having was 3 eggs with rice and some chicken and beef, tea, and a banana. So yeah, and a decent serving of rice too. I don't know, the idea of a decent serving can vary from person to person, but for me it was definitely a sizable portion since I don't eat rice and stuff very often. Yeah, I don't really weigh stuff. I don't really track macros. I have a general idea of, but I don't have any numbers in my head. Seeing that I have a general idea and I eyeball stuff makes it seem like I have somewhat of a numerical track in my head. But what actually is going on is I kind of have a general idea of the total quantity of food I've had in any given day, and also was it a high carb food, was it a high fat food, was it a high protein food, and I try to fill my food more so with high protein, high fat stuff on most days and keep the carbs in the minimal. And so then by prioritizing that kind of food and having a decent amount of it, I know that I should be in a decent enough range as far as the nutrients go. And then as far as the total calories, I kind of gauge it by how I'm feeling day to day. Like if what I'm eating is causing me to feel tired, then I probably need to up my calories a little. But if what I'm eating makes me feel bloated and look like fatter, softer, then I'll cut down calories a little. But yeah, that's just how I keep a track of how I do things. I don't religiously track macros or anything like that, though I don't think that's a bad approach. I do think it helps doing that for at least some time to get an idea of what certain foods actually contain and the kind of effect it's having on your body. However, once you've done that and you're not competing for a show or anything, or you're not trying to actively cut down for any particular set date, I think having just a general not necessarily blueprint, a general guideline, maybe blueprint, by which you follow the way, by which, or a rule set more than a blueprint. It's more like you keep certain rules as far as how you eat, then you should be pretty good. You shouldn't get too fat, and then after that it's just like a cutting calories or increasing cardio or increasing activity sort of equation. But yeah, on to the next set. Hmm. With this, as I throw it up in the air, I'm also pushing. So with the left hand, I'm pushing towards the right side to help create that wide angle. But yeah, that was set 3. I think it was 3. Gonna do 2 more. My legs still feel pretty sore and stiff from yesterday, so I'm going to do this thing to loosen up my hips. So on an elevated surface, I'm going to keep my leg on top of it. I don't know, I was like finding words to describe what I was doing, but I was like, I can just say I'm putting my leg on top of an elevated surface. In any case, moving into a ATG split squat. Then at the top of the rep, going to rotate the back foot away and then go back into the squat to now target the groin adductor area. Then going to switch back to an ATG split squat and repeat. Going for 5 on each leg. By combining movements that target different areas of the hip, like usually after a couple of sets of this, like my hip area feels really like nice and loose and not very tight. I think the hips end up becoming tight for the majority of people because just of a lot of sitting at work or driving a lot. And just in general, even among people who train, I think stretching the hip flexor sometimes, especially through loaded exercises, isn't very prevalent. In any case, gonna do this for like 2-3 more sets, and then yeah, maybe some juggling after. So unfortunately, the audio stopped recording at the park during this part of the video, which is really annoying. Everything was connected the way it was. The rain might have had something to do with it. It did start raining during my juggling session. But actually during this part of the video, the rain hadn't even started yet, so I'm not really sure why the audio didn't record. Yeah. So today, for today's video, or when I make my video today, I'm definitely gonna have to do some preliminary testing to make sure that the video or the audio is recording whenever the video is recording. In any case, yeah, the juggling sequences are always better when you can hear the, I guess, sound effects of the kettlebell hitting my hand and the sound in the park of people talking, kids running around, etc. Um, and also with me chatting and making points. In any case, while you guys watch me juggle, there was a point that I was thinking about that might be worth sharing. So, recently, my friend made me aware of a study that was done in the Netherlands that checked on how much protein could a body absorb at any given time. So up until that study, the general, I guess, agreement among, I guess, quite a few people was that you could only absorb about 25 to 30 grams of protein per day, or not per day, per meal. So essentially, if you ate like a meal worth with like a huge steak, so that had more than 30 grams of protein in one sitting, essentially you would only absorb about 30 grams of it, and the rest was just going to waste. And when I first got into working out, that was something that I believed. I've since then, I usually have one large meal or a couple of large meals in any given day. So, I definitely don't follow that way of eating, but you know, the study proves it now, and the herein lies the problem with people who do things too much by the book. And by the book, I mean they won't work out a certain way unless a study tells them to do so, or uh, or if there's like evidence to back it up or whatever. But it has to be a published evidence. Like if a study doesn't say it, then they won't do it. And I don't think that's the right way to go about things. So the reason I say that is, like, before this study came out, that I guess debunks that 25 to 30 gram myth, there's probably a lot of people who did that meal splitting and 25 to 30 grams kind of style of eating. But there are so many examples of people who do counter to it. There's so many people who are extremely fit who do one meal a day, do intermittent fasting, have one large serving of steak in on a day as their source of protein, and have pretty good physiques. So, and when that kind of stuff happens, it's like you don't need a published study to tell you that that's okay. It's literally happening right in front of your eyes. Like you can see it happen, and you can see multiple people do it and account for it. And that's where I kind of have a gripe with some of these extremely scientific fitness people, in the sense that they will only do certain exercises or train a certain way or follow certain rep ranges, all because certain studies uh, told them that it was okay. But if you just look around a little bit more, there are many people who don't take into account like scientific studies as part of their workout program. They just work out, and they have really great physiques. They have their own methodology of doing things. They seem really healthy. Uh, and I mean, by healthy in this context, I mean more they seem really muscular. They're able to perform athletically. And, they don't take all these studies into account too much. And like, that's I guess important to note, because even me, I was guilty of this during my early years of lifting, where I was very hesitant to do anything that a scientific YouTuber told me not to do. Eventually, I broke out of it, but you know, usually with a lot of these things that people say are not the right way of doing things, there's quite a few examples of people who do things that way, who are, really fit. So I think that, like, a lot of people say fasting is stupid, or intermittent fasting is stupid, or one meal a day is stupid, or ketogenic diet is stupid. But for each of those aforementioned ways of doing things, there are really fit, ripped people who do those things. So why wait for a study to tell me that it's okay to do that? In any case, uh, yeah, that was just something that was on my mind. Um, and yeah, we're approaching the end of the video. I don't know if you guys saw, there was this guy who came up to me, and I think he said, I have a lot of get up and go. It was a good moment when um, it was actually recording. In any case, this is the end of the video. It was raining, and then things got too slippery. Yeah, see you all tomorrow.